What is happening here and who is responsible? I'm letting the youth do all the manual labor while I sit on the couch. And this is what Christmas is all about. Good morning. Welcome to a weekend holiday reading a lot of things vlog. Today is my last work day of the year. Right now I am frantically trying to schedule my first work trip of the year, ending the year with my first travel for work being confirmed. So now I need to book this flight. Oh, that is an early flight. That is going to be painful. That is a 2023 problem now. Why is this taking forever to load? So that is done. Good morning. Hi, hello. If you are new here, my name is Amber. I do vlogs in addition to videos on books, planners, productivity, journaling, all of that stuff. Welcome back to the channel. This vlog is going to be, like I mentioned earlier, a mix of things because today is a mix of things. It's almost 11 o'clock in the morning now. It is my last work day of the year. I'm definitely not going to be working long. I have just a couple emails to sign off on, but other than that, I am on vacation. I'm on winter break mode. Our office is closed through the holidays until the new year. I'm really grateful for the break because I am ready to rest. Right now, my main thing for today is to get as much reading done as possible. I am 4 books away from hitting my Goodreads goal. It is December 23rd. So that means I have like 8 days to read 4 books, which is a little intense. This morning, I started Isn't It Romantic by Alyssa K. Adams. I have loved the Bromance Book Club series. It's such a cute, fun series. If you've never read it, it's basically a series about a friend group of men who use romance novels as tools to help them better their marriages and relationships. So this book follows the character that we've known as the Russian, and he has a really interesting premise where he's been married to his wife, but he is kind of like a marriage of convenience, and now he wants something more. The woman that he's married to, Elena, she has like her own hang-ups and reservations about why she can't be invested in the marriage. So I'm about 20% in. I started it, like I said, this morning. I'm on page 63. I've been reading the physical copy, but I also have the audiobook because I still have so much to do around the house before I leave for Christmas. So my goal for today is to get at least like halfway through this book and get all of my errands done before I go home. It is the grossest day of the month. It's like pouring rain and like sleeting, so really looking forward to having to go outside in that. But I want to get these errands done early so that I'm able to just be in the house and be cozy before the weather gets really, really bad. So I'm going to hop on these emails and then go outside and run my errands, and I will check all with you in a bit. I'm going to put the audiobook of Isn't It Romantic back on, and I will give you a reading update shortly.
He never understood how handsome he was, how attractive and effective. Elena had always felt lucky to know that his sexiest quality was his kindness.
The camera's probably going to struggle to focus on me because I just turned all my lights out, but I ordered Chipotle because it's snowing and I'm not going outside and I don't have food in my house because it's Christmas Eve and that's where I'm at right now. I wanted to give a quick reading update on Isn't It Romantic. One, I think I could finish this book today. At first I was like, just get through half of it and know that the bulk of my reading would happen over the rest of the weekend and next week because I'm off of work and I'm going on vacation, so I have a long time in the car, but I could definitely finish this book today. I'm still really enjoying it. I think out of all of the Bromance Book Club books that I've read, this is the 4th one, I believe. So far it's like not my favorite, but it's still really good. I was switching between the physical and the audio this morning, and I don't love the audiobook. It's not a full cast, and the way that the voice actor does some of like the switch between the male and female POV is just not my favorite. It's not bad by any means. I've definitely listened to some bad audiobook narrations, but it's just not my favorite. So I'm excited to curl back up with the physical now that I'm kind of away from my desk. Now I have ordered Chipotle, like I already said, I think, and I'm about to watch some Emily in Paris because season 3 just dropped, and as much as I hate this show, I literally cannot stop watching. I know a lot of you are in the same boat, so if you already started season 3, no spoilers in the comments, but let me know your thoughts. How much do we hate Emily this season? Good morning. It is, oh, Merry Christmas Eve to all who celebrate. Yeah, it's freezing outside, so it's certainly starting to feel a little bit more like Christmas. One thing that I have not addressed in this vlog yet or in my life update video that is a pretty significant life update is right behind me, the bookshelves. If you are a longtime YouTube watcher, you know that I have struggled with storage for books basically throughout the entire pandemic when my book collection kind of like skyrocketed a little bit, as I'm sure many of ours did. I had this like pile on my floor, which I was calling Book Mountain unaffectionately for years, and finally all the things aligned and I was able to put these shelves up. I actually still most likely will get at least one, if not two more shelves, because I still receive a lot of books from publishers. I still get a lot of books. I love books. I know I'm always going to be surrounded by books, so I want to make sure I have room for the collection to flex a little bit. But they are the Gersby shelves from IKEA, and they're very sturdy and they hold a ton, and they were pretty easy to assemble. I put them together myself, and I am not a carpentress, so if I could do it, anyone could build these shelves. So I braved the freezing cold to grab some Starbucks this morning. I got a flat white with one pump of the toasted white mocha, which it's fine, but I could have just got the regular white mocha, or honestly I could have got nothing. I don't know that I would get this again. I give it like a 3 out of 5 stars. But speaking of stars, I wanted to do a quick reading update with you all. So I did end up finishing Isn't It Romantic? I read this entire book in a day, which is my favorite thing to do. That is a sign of being on break, of having some time off from work, is just getting to finish an entire book in 24 hours, start to finish. That is self-care to me. But I finished Isn't It Romantic, and I think my final rating for this one is going to be a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I have really enjoyed this series overall. I think that Lyssa Kay Adams was onto something when she decided to introduce romance to men and make these male characters just like a little bit more three-dimensional in their emotional bandwidth and capacity for understanding their partners and willingness to understand their partners. This book follows the Russian, aka Vlad, who we've seen across all of the books. He's kind of been almost treated like the funny, goofy side character. I think a lot of us were surprised when he got his own book, because all the other members of the friend group are so much more like defined and developed, and he was always just like the Russian, and now he has a story of his own. So we learn that he is married to his wife Elena, but they have a marriage of convenience. They're both from Russia, and she wanted to leave Russia after her father, who was a journalist, goes missing, and pursue her own education and passion. So when he becomes a professional athlete in the States, he offers to marry her so she can also come to the States. They've grown up together, they've been childhood friends, but this is not like a love story, their marriage. It's really, like I said, a marriage of convenience. She actually has lived separately of him. He lives in Nashville, where he plays professional hockey. She lives in Chicago, where she's studying to be a journalist and follow in her dad's footsteps. Eventually Vlad tells her that he does like want this to be a real marriage. He doesn't just want to be married on paper, and I guess she runs away. She does not, and they decide they're going to get divorced. So that's kind of like where the story picks up from. I thought that it was interesting how neither of them really like develop as much as characters. They are kind of, I don't know, I just thought that the way that they were approached as characters was weird. There is an element of they're both Russian. She's trying to become a journalist like her father. We know how journalists are treated in Russia, and there's like a subplot of that in the book that I just thought was way too like quick to be as serious as that is. And the other thing about this book, this series, so all of the men learn how to be better partners through reading and discussing romance books together. But in this book, Vlad is not reading a book that they call them manuals. He's not reading a manual. He's been writing a love story for years, and through writing the love story that he's been working on, he's able to process and understand his feelings for Elena. I am glad that this was not like every other chapter was a chapter of his book, because I don't think I could have handled that. But I didn't enjoy the fact that they made him a writer without making him a writer. Like, we don't see him in the process of writing a book. We still see him in his kind of like goofy, the Russian moments. But like, I don't see him writing an outline. We don't see him doing plot cards. And maybe it's just the writer in me. But like, he has these random discussions with the friend group about like the plot of his book and where it's going and all of that, but he never, like, you don't see any follow-up from like him working on the book. It's just, it's weird. And then we're just supposed to believe that through these like random book club chats, he gets it and is going off to write this book and understand his love life better. I don't know. That part was kind of like underbaked. It was just lots of parts of this book were just a little underbaked for me, but overall the writing is great. Lissa K. Adams is a great writer. It was fun. It was obviously a fast read. It'll definitely keep you turning pages. I like the side characters that got introduced. All the friends in the neighborhood was really funny. I don't really get the cheese man plot. That was also interesting. You'll get it if you read the book, but I had fun. Not my favorite of the series, but definitely recommend the series overall. And I actually have one more book from this series that might make its way into this vlog. I'm not sure if I'm feeling another romance book club, but it is a Christmas themed book, so we shall see. Since I finished that book before I was ready to kind of call it a night, I did go ahead and start another book. Finishing Isn't It Romantic brings me to 49 out of 52 books read for the year. My Goodreads goal is always 52 for the last like couple years, just because that to me is like a book a week, and I know that I'm in a good space if I'm finishing on average a book a week. The fact that I am playing catch up should tell you that there were many points this year where I was not in a good space and not able to read a book in a week. Anyway, since I finished that book early last night, I picked up another. I started Someday Maybe by Ani Walbanelli. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I will look up how to pronounce her last name. I picked this book up because, one, the cover is just, oh my gosh, she's stunning. But also the premise to this, like the first couple of lines in the jacket really got me. Here are 3 things you should know about my husband. He was the great love of my life despite his penchant for going incommunicado. He was, as far as I and everyone else could tell, perfectly happy, which is significant because on New Year's Eve, he took his own life. And there's one thing you should know about me. I found him. Bonus fact, no, I'm not okay. So this novel is about a woman, a Nigerian British woman living in London who had the great love of her life in her husband, and on New Year's Day she walks into their home to find that he has taken his own life. She's the one that discovers him, and we start the book kind of jumping off from that and then watching her go through this grieving process. I read 50 pages of this last night, and the writing is just so strong. It, honestly, in many ways, the theme of this book is heavily about grief. So if that's a trigger for you, like, this is a very, very real, raw depiction of grief after you lose someone very close to you and have to go through the messy process of processing that experience. But it kind of reminds me in some ways, and I guess just because they're both set in London and follow Nigerian families, of one of my favorite books of the year so far, Hope and Glory, which I really, really loved. And that is also about like processing heavy, deep emotions and layers of like family trauma, and not trauma necessarily, but like family ties and friend ties. This is giving me that vibe. So I'm really excited to keep going, because wouldn't it be crazy if this ends up being another favorite book of the year that I read, what, like a week before the end of the year? So I'm going to keep up with this one today. I have the hard copy obviously, but I don't think I'm gonna get this on audio too. I have a couple of Libro FM credits. I will also leave my Libro FM links in the description box. I have a discount code for y'all through the podcast, so you can get a free book credit if you're trying to hit some reading goals and want to add an audiobook into the mix. But I did listen to the sample of this audiobook, and I like the narrator's voice. I wish I would have done that with Isn't It Romantic, because I just did not enjoy that audio as much. But this one I'm probably just going to read the physical copy. Like I said, I'm 50 pages in, so I will be doing that. I also need to like pack up. I'm going to head home to my dad's today for Christmas, so which is why I was considering the audiobook, so I can like get my life together and still read. But I think I'm just going to wait until I get settled and cozy and can read there. I need to pack up, I need to tidy the apartment a little bit, I need to finish eating my breakfast, and probably watch another 2 episodes of Emily in Paris. I think I got to episode 8. Emily is still at her worst, and I cannot believe that I'm still watching this show. Alright, I still have not gotten my life together and gotten ready to go home, but I just got some book mail, so I figured we should open it up together. I know what the book is because I ordered it, but I'm really excited for this, and I did not expect it to arrive in time, so it's definitely going to throw a wrench in my TBR plans. Oh, she is thick. In the stunning UK cover, Babel in paperback. This is the thickest book ever. There's no way. Oh yeah, the font's like giving 12 point. There's no way I will finish this before 2023, but I am obsessed with this cover. Look at the foiling. The UK cover ate the US cover up. I do wish that we could all just get on board with what is the size of a paperback. Like, this is huge. Let's just compare it to the size of a standard. Like, why? What is happening here and who is responsible? Like, it makes no sense. How's it going? Got it. You look super confident right now. It wasn't this hard when I did it by myself. You're so close. I'm letting the youth do all the manual labor while I sit on the couch. And this is what Christmas is all about. Are you still on that one branch?
I want it to look right.
Tree is done. Now my sister's doing some more extra decoration.
Hello.
What's the vision here?
Trust the process.
Okay, okay. We're watching some gingerbread baking contest and gotta love the holiday. Actually, this looks really pretty, Leah.
Thank you. There's a layout, of course.
Where do you see a layout?
Right here.
Right in the front, of course.
Of course. I can't even like think.
This looks good though. Leave it.
Okay.
Amazing work. I feel like I never vlog at my dad's house. Look at the genetics. They don't lie. This is baby me. Literally cute since 1993. It's sickening. Sickening. I'm trying to say obsessed and sickening at the same time. And then this is my little sister who stole my whole baby face. Her and me. We kind of look like, I was gonna say we kind of look like sisters, but we are sisters. I've had a sip of wine just for the record. Finishing our wine. It's a great holiday so far. I have only read like maybe another 2 chapters of this all day, but I'm still really liking it. It's really good. It's very emotional, but the writing is stunning. Good afternoon. It has been a while since I actually like picked up the camera and talked to the vlog in this vlog. Today is Wednesday. It is December 28th, and I woke up this morning not really like feeling that great, so I've kind of just been resting for most of the day. Took some meds, feeling a little bit better. So I leave for Martha's Vineyard in 2 days, and I want to go run some quick errands just to make sure I have all those last minute things you need before you go on any kind of trip, even a quick weekend trip. So I'm gonna go out and do that now, bring you guys with me. For whatever reason, I'm also really craving like an iced coffee or an iced latte or maybe an iced matcha. So that will have to happen at some point while we're out. Hello, happy, I think today is Thursday. That's the worst part about this end of year time, when you just like spend a week not knowing what day of the week it is between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then between Christmas and New Year. It's just a haze. I did not update the vlog last night because I felt so terrible. I like felt bad when I woke up, and I kind of bounced back in the afternoon and maybe did too much and then was tapped out by the time I came back from running errands. And then I did like a quick Zoom call, our last like writers group call of the year with Phoebe and Alexa. And yeah, then I just kind of like edited a video and did some random work, and then ended up not falling asleep until 4 in the morning, and then woke up really late this morning. So I've just been reading on my Kindle, for the majority of the day. It is now like almost 1:30 and I'm about to get ready to leave and go to my nail appointment to get my nails done before I head to Martha's Vineyard for New Year's Eve / New Year's Day / the long weekend. But I wanted to give you all a quick reading update because I really have not updated my reading for days now, and the whole point of this vlog was supposed to be catching up on my Goodreads reading goal. Okay, long story short is that I have not finished another book since I finished Isn't It Bromantic, but I'm getting close. So I took this home with me on Christmas. This is Someday Maybe, the book that I was reading in my last reading update portion of this vlog, and I'm still really enjoying it. I'm probably like 80 pages in so far, so I've read a good amount, but this is a super emotional book. Like, it's literally just all about grief. And when I was home on Christmas, I was like hanging out with my sister and my family, and I just was not feeling the grief vibes. So as much as I want to keep reading this, I just kind of put it on the back burner and started something a little bit more festive. So I started reading on my Kindle the Holly Dates, which is a Christmas kind of themed holiday-ish romance, and it's so cute. There's so many twists in it to be a romance. Like, the plot keeps pivoting in ways that I didn't expect, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm about 80% of the way through, so I'm gonna take my Kindle with me to my nail appointment and start that next. I'm hoping that I finish that by the afternoon and I could start another book today, be finished by tomorrow. I leave for Martha's Vineyard early tomorrow morning, so my goal is to just spend the rest of the day straightening up, packing, making sure I have all my stuff together before I head away for the long weekend, and to listen to an audiobook while I'm like handling all of that stuff. I'm so glad that I've rediscovered my love for listening to audiobooks. I'd stopped for like, I don't think I listened to like a single audiobook in 2021, but in the last maybe 3 or 4 months I've probably listened to like at least 5 or 6 on audio. I like to have the book that I'm listening to in a physical copy too, so I can go back and forth between. Sometimes I'll like listen while I'm reading, which is actually really nice. So it's been a really great experience. I use Libro FM, and if you listen to my podcast, you know we have a Libro FM code. So if you use the code TYFA, you get 1 free audiobook credit, which is really nice. And all their books, when you purchase through them, their audiobooks, this is not an ad, I just really like Libro FM. But when you purchase an audiobook through them, they split profit with the local indie bookstore of your choosing, which is awesome. So yeah, I have like 10 more minutes to read, and then I need to figure out which book I'm going to start after I finish the Holly Dates. There is a book that I have in mind already. I picked this up when I was on a work trip in Boston from an indie bookstore there. It's called Must Love Books. It's about a girl who works as an assistant at a publishing house, I think. I love books that are about like the publishing industry, the book industry. I loved Book Lovers earlier this year, and I think this is a signed copy. It is a signed copy. Amazing. And I already have the audiobook of that ready to go, so I think this will be the next book that I try. So right now I'm still at 49 out of 52, soon to be 50 out of 52. This will be 51, and then I think my other plan is to try and finish both of these novellas before the end of the year. I have Blackout and Whiteout. These are 2 YA romance anthologies. They are both pretty short, and I also have both of these on audio as well. So this is what I think my end of year, like the last of the TBR will be. These 3 books, and they're definitely doable in 3 days, honestly. Like, this is doable. This is doable. I feel good about this.